Libra Ascendant, Libra Rising. How are you? This is G. I am really glad to be here, really glad and excited to talk about the month of September. This is a deeply transformational month, time of quantum elevations. This is a time when we are seeing drastic changes. We are seeing elevated emotions. We are seeing elevated actions. We are seeing fight. We are seeing might. We are seeing a whole lot of things, folks. The test is, will you be part of it? Or will you be detached from it? Do you have the power? Do you have the ability? Do you have the awareness to step back and to be the watcher? The watcher of self, the watcher of others, the watcher of the greater world around you, the macro, the micro, what we do and how we hold ourselves here, we throw out there. We boomerang it, we toss it, but it comes back around. Libra, you are the diplomat. You are the one that says, I understand this and I understand that. I understand you and I understand you. I see where you're coming from. That's a good idea. I like this and I like that. This month of September, you had a full moon. Full moon was a time of elevated emotions, and this was of your health and your well-being. Some Librans felt really drained on that day. And it wasn't just because of the full moon. Is that it's never about the one thing, the whole thing, the big picture, not just a slice of the pie, all the ingredients of what's in that pie. This is the beauty of astrology. So come and take an energetic stroll with me. Okay, Libra, I'm not going to mess around with you. I'm going to cut right to the chase. This month, and I know it's already been happening for you, but for the month of September in particular, we're talking about a lot of stress and testing in the home and at work, in your profession, and this is going to involve your emotions because you've got your Cancer energy up there at the 10th house placement. Your 10th house is your career. It's your highest hopes, goals, and ambitions, how you express your best in the world. 10th house is where you shine. It's where people see you and they're like, wow, look at that star up there. The 10th house is an area of your life where you understand, for you specifically, Libra, the greater good for the all involved, because you have Cancer energy there. And Cancer energy represents the public. It represents people on a large, grand scale. But it's the emotions as well. It's the nurturing. It's the empathy. The sign of Cancer is all about divine feminine power. Empathy, nurturing, understanding, compassion. It is what I need to feel emotionally secure, emotional satisfaction. It is this divine mother, feminine goddess energy. The nurturing, the mothering, the I can sacrifice for humanity, the I can sacrifice for my family. And it's the whole understanding that we do have this as our family, the people I was born with, my loved ones, somebody I'm married to, our children, my mom and dad, especially feminine, especially mom energy. But on the grand scale, on the big macro level, on a global level, on a cosmic level, it's understanding the connectivity. The connectivity is we are all family, regardless of our color, regardless of the form, regardless of the gender, regardless, we are all family. There is this invisible connection that runs through each and every one of us. And as a Libra Ascendant, Libra Rising, having that Cancer energy up there in the 10th house means that your goals, hopes, wishes, ambitions, it is all about what is best for the group. But also understanding feminine quality, this matriarchal quality, this birthing, regenerative power of there is a seemingly a death in something, but then at the same time, something beautiful can blossom. And so the Cancer energy is saying, hey, I understand that's how things got to be done. But at the same time, we need to step back a minute and take a look at, is this good for everybody? How does this feel? We need to trust our emotions. We need to trust our feelings. But at the same time, how to be the rational, logical thinker and not to allow the emotions to override what has to be done, to not override what you're seeing happen in the workplace. If someone comes to you in the wrong way, somebody approaches you incorrectly, somebody appears to be disrespectful, it's understanding professionally, I'm here to get my job done. At the same time, I will come to you in a beautiful way, in a way that I would want you to approach me. It's that fine line of, I know what's right. I understand what feels good. I know what I need for my emotional security and my emotional satisfaction. When I see somebody else who just kind of tramples right over that as if it means nothing, it causes a problem. And it's hard to hold the tongue. It's hard to not say something. But because you've got the Cancer energy there, it could be very easily a situation where you might say something. Yeah, you might regret it later on. You care. You care. You have the feeling and the empathy. You can feel what another one is feeling. You know when something is said, and it's also how it's said that is just wrong. And it's like, oh my gosh, can I just be quiet just to get through the day? Just to, I'm just trying to do this to pay my rent, to have food on my table. So it's tricky, very tricky for you. I get it. And I sympathize for you. See this, not just for you here, but in other people that I know who have the same setup, or these Libra ascendant, Libra risings. And so it becomes they are being pulled in multiple directions because they know what's right, they feel what's right, and yet it's like they have to sacrifice what they feel is right just to make $1. And that is bothersome for you. How to pick and choose what's really important, how to balance that. And that is a big Libran thing. So whether you're a Libra sun, a Libra moon, a Libra rising, and understanding our emotions are directly connected to our bodies. Now you have your Piscean energy in your 6th house of your health. And your Piscean energy is water. Many times we have to remember science to really look at what is. Water is the grand conductor of energy. So here's water, and energy just travels right along it, right? Like without a problem. It rides it. It rides the wave. So if you've got water in your 6th house, understanding that your feelings, because water represents feelings as well, your feelings, which is why emotions are the fuel of our wishes. Emotions are the fuel of our wishes. Our emotions are the fuel for our wishes. Great conductor of energy. When you understand your emotions have the ability to create, have the ability to draw and attract things to you, then you can then be more selective as to how you will let your emotions reside within you, how long you hold on to them, or how you express them. Pisces, think of sponge. And when you take a sponge and you want to wipe something up, you put the sponge on it, the sponge soaks it right up. This is you, because you have got Piscean waters in your 6th house. This is your health. It is also your job, your daily routines, your work routines, your work project. So when you're at the job and you're in the midst of this project, this routine, this daily, the grind, day-to-day stuff, this affects you. Bottom line, it affects you. So understanding that it's important that you're in a work environment that's going to be good for you. As the sponge, you're going to be able to pick up on a whole lot of things. If you're somebody where you're like, well, that's easy to say. I got to be in a work environment that's conducive for me, right? Like, what do? Put up a sign. Hold up. You're being a little too harsh there, right? Or I can't, it's not realistic, is it? But what is realistic? Understanding that even though you have this water energy in your 6th house when it comes to work, it also has to do with your domestic life and any routine. So it's not just work, but it is at home. But here's the thing. When you are at home, hone in and creating your own force field, your own energetic grid, protective grid that surrounds you. You would have to do this. Having Piscean energy in your 6th house of health, it's mandatory. And especially depending upon when you go into environments and different places and you don't know who you're going to meet or who you're going to greet and what's going to be there, the unknown, understanding, okay, I'm sensitive. It's not a choice. You came in this way. I see it on your chart. So what happens is we either shut down because we don't want to let anything in, right? Because we're too sensitive. Some people become recluses. They have to sit in the home because they can't handle it. There's just a flood. It's an over intensification, sensitivities of the receptions, of the things that are coming in and the receptivity. It's too much. It becomes an overload, sensory overload. Yeah. You heard me searching for the words, and I was searching. There's these levels of sensitivities that you've come in with. And once you honor and once you understand them, you can then set up your energetic boundaries. Some people call in their guides. Some people use visual practices, right? They can visualize this purple force field around them. Some people see themselves in this cool blue burning flame. Therefore, anything that comes into their area it literally burns and dissolves before it even touches them. Your mind is a powerful tool. Nobody really teaches us this, but it's a real thing. And there's so much of the brain area, the black matter, the gray space that we don't know about, that science doesn't know about. And this is that powerful space in the brain where you can create what you want by your thought. And beginning with you in your own space, beginning with how you control the thoughts, beginning with your thought vault, what you choose to keep in it, what you say, oh no, that has no business being there. There is so much power that you possess. And when you recognize it and understand it, then you learn how to work with it. You learn to realize that your mind is a tool and you are the master of that tool. That is our goal for all of us, learning to be the master of that tool of the mind. How do we master the material, tangible world? And so until we can master the 3D, I want this. Do I need it? No, I don't need it. Instead of, ooh, shiny, gotta have it, right? It's as though we are the slave to the thing. Things really are just things. And for Libra Ascendant, Libra Rising, this would resonate with you because Venus rules your first house. Venus is all about things being beautiful, aesthetically beautiful, this symmetry, this balance, this fairness. Where is Venus? Venus is all about how we receive. How do we receive what we want? How do we receive the good in our life? Venus in Leo energy. Venus goes into the sign of Leo, which is fiery. All of a sudden, Venus becomes hot. Fiery female. This is a time where what I want, what I need, what I value, you become charged with. Because the Leo energy is, it lights it up. All of a sudden, there may be something or someone that you maybe have been on the fence about, and all of a sudden there's this undeniable value. There's this undeniable magnetism towards this person or this thing. Your Leo energy is in your 11th house. Yay! I love this because 11th house is astrology. Yes, astrology. 11th house is friends, is groups, is the internet. All about group energy. Friends. I love friends. I gotta have friends. I want to be around friends. Being around people, loving the connectivity, loving to meet new people. The thing about Leo in the 11th house is because it's group energy where people kind of look at you like you're the star. They look up to you for something. Do you like people's attention? It's just what it is. Leo energy is all about, I want the spotlight on me. I shine, I radiate, I laugh, I have fun. I want to have fun with you. That's Leo energy, a good time. It's also romance, it's dating. It can be very childlike, but childlike in the sense of laughter and joy. I mean, it can be childlike in other ways. There's a lot of childlike qualities some adults have that we admire, and we're like, oh, they have such a child's heart. It's so beautiful. They're so giving. There's almost this innocence about them. At the same time, some of the not so great selfishness, egotistical, like this narcissist where they're just all about themselves and they don't stop. And it's like me, 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 me. And they just keep talking all day about themselves. And there's never this take a breath and say, okay, how are you doing today? They kind of skip that last part. No, it's just about me. And they want the group to look at them. Center of attention of the group. If you don't have any strong energies, meaning planets in that 11th house for you in your chart, then for you, you're thinking, gee, this doesn't sound like me. And it may not. But for people who have planets there, what it does is it adds more energy. It adds more intensity to that experience that I just explained. So it's not that, oh yeah, this doesn't work. No, it's just that you're an individual. And so everybody, depending upon their birth time and location, depicts a whole lot of differences. And this is the uniqueness. This is the beauty of the we. Aries energy is just me, 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 me. But it's the beauty of astrology. Once we go past Aries, right, which is the first house, then we go to the next house, Taurus, number 2, next house, Gemini, number 3, and so on. Guess what the last sign is? It's Pisces. It's the 12th house, and it represents we. We. Interesting? Aries, number 1, me. Number 12, it's we. We are a group. We are one. We are humanity. We are all one. What I do to you, I do to myself. What I do to myself, I do to you. Think about those words. What I do to myself, I do to you. Think about that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, on what that means for you in your life. Comment below and let me hear back from you. And by the way, if you're new here, welcome. You're right where you belong. This is the place where I look at you energetically. I touch in with your frequency grid. I understand who you are. And that includes the things that you think aren't so good about you and the things that you think are wonderful about you. I see the struggles, the experiences, the victories. I see the possibilities. Love you for who you are as a whole. You are right where you belong. If you are an oldie but a goodie, if you have been here before, let me say to you, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm honored to be here with you. I love touching in. I find nothing more humbling than to be able to share what comes through me with this community. And there is no greater message, unity. Let's create unity within this community to all rise. Let's all grow. Let's throw away the division and the separation. Let's become a unit, a focused, functioning, high-level unit, rising higher and higher and higher, where we will all fly together. We're going to float on into Mercury making a change and going into Libra. So Mercury goes into your first house. So this means thinking, thoughts about myself, about who I am, my identity in this world. What is my identity now? Venus and Mercury are siblings, and so they talk to each other. So Mercury coming into the sign of Libra works really well. There is this communication, there is this understanding, there is this more honing in on self-love and valuing of who I am, because there's this new identity. You have emerged. There's been, in this last, think back 12 months ago, think back. A lot had gone on. What you were doing 12 months ago and what you're doing now. Yes, life has changed a lot just in the last 7 months for all of us, last 8 months. It's very different. It's a different world. But the difference is you have come about in a way where you've almost come out of a cocoon, like as if you were asleep, and you have emerged like this beautiful butterfly. And there is this new sense of value, of self-value, self-love, right? There's this new sense of, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know that if I wasn't doing that any longer, I could still be happy. I didn't know that. And so there's this new understanding. There is like this new foundation beginning for you. And this is a beautiful thing, because Mercury talking to Venus, they're sisters. So there's this camaraderie, there is this friendship, there's this feeling of sisterhood. And it doesn't just have to be feminine energies, but there is this closeness, there is this companionship quality to it, where a new understanding, a new line of communication is occurring. And so it's beautiful, because we need this, because we're all in hard times. And the energies, the bigger energies, which happen in the home, which happen at work, are also happening on a global level. There's a lot of fight versus might, right? There is a lot of, this is what I want, this is what they want, and hey, we're struggling here, and we need to get this stuff taken care of. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to be patient. We're trying to keep our emotions calm. We're trying to hone in on what it is that we need in our life to be emotionally secure, to be emotionally satisfied, to understand that no matter what's going on out there, there are certain things that I have to know about me, that I need, and I have to do them. I have to make sure I get them. I have to make sure I chisel in that me time all the time. Me time. I'll say it again, me time all the time. This isn't to say to be all greedy and to be all selfish. No, it's saying that recognize the moments where you sacrifice too much. And you have to set up safe borders, boundaries, and barriers, and simply make statements of, I need this right now. And then go do it. Whatever that is, make sure you take charge of your happiness. Take charge of what you need. I've been trying to ask people to make sure they've been working on this for the last 5 months. 2020 is a big deal. And the rest of 2020, it's rough. There's a lot of fight in the air. There's a lot of fire. It's very heated. Think it through. Don't be Mars, where Mars just runs and goes and does. Think it through. So now we get to the 17th, right? The 15th, 16th, 17th. We move up to the middle of the month. And what we have is a new moon happening in the sign of Virgo energy. And Virgo is about my daily work routines. It is the JOB. Virgo energy is also my health routines, my health habits. Virgo energy is work and work projects. Virgo is the ability to organize, the ability to criticize. If you're not careful, it's one thing about being critical, like an independent critical thinker, the ability to dissect something and to look at it and to say, hey, we might want to check this out. But then there's this other thing that occurs where it gets very nitpicky and can tear things apart without realizing it, thinking it's doing good, right? Not understanding, oh, wow, that was a little too much, little, way too much, and ease off a little bit. So we don't want to go and take it to that level. We just want to be aware And being aware means you constantly have a part of your personality, yes, a part in your mind that can step back and can be the watcher, that can step back and watch the personality, that can watch the ego and to see how it operates and to see why it gets obsessed about something and it can't let it go. That other part of other degree of your being needs to step in and say, hey, hold on a minute there. Let's pull you back a little bit. And that's enough now. You go ahead and you sit down. That's enough. I don't need that right now. When I need you, when I need your thoughts, when I need your perspective, I will call upon you. And that's kind of a way that might help to do that. When we have the new moon in Virgo, it's going to be at 25 degrees of Virgo energy. And I like this because a new moon is the sun and the moon together. All right. They're at 25 degree in Virgo. Now, this is my work, my career. This is my job. This is your tangible world. Virgo is trining. I mean, it's an exact trine with Saturn in Capricorn at this time, an exact trine. And Saturn in Capricorn is your profession, is your career, is something you've been working on for a long period of time, because that's what Capricorn energy is. I like this. I'm willing to work on it. And even though I may not see the fruits of the labor right now, I'm going to keep working at it by piecemeal. By piecemeal, by piecemeal. And that's what Saturn requires. It says to you, you're not going to get this quickly. But if you are diligent, if you keep working at it, you're going to get rewarded one day. You're going to get rewarded. And so Saturn is trining the sun and the moon, right? And on top of all of that, right at the beginning of September, Mercury was at this point. What we want to do, think back to the beginning of September, right? And so if you're listening to this video, hopefully I'm getting it before the new moon time to you. But think about the beginning of September. Think about around, at the full moon time, we had the sun and Uranus exactly trining each other, and they were in Earth. The sun was in Virgo energy at 10 degrees, and Uranus was at 10 degrees. And so Uranus is my money, right? Because it's in Taurus. So it's my values, it's my resources. And so there was information coming. For some of us, it would have been like a ton of bricks falling on us, right? A big light bulb popping up in our head. But for others, it just might have been like a quick thought that came through, because that's Uranian energy. It goes real fast, right? And so I had asked people to pay attention to that information, because here's the time. Around the 17th, you're going to make your new moon wishes. The location of it for you in your chart. Now, when I look at your energy, your Virgo energy, this is going to give you, though, what is the most beneficial thing for you to wish on, because you're working with the cosmos. You're working with the galactic rays coming in. You're working with their frequencies. In other words, you're not working against them. You're working in the flow of the energy. And so when you wish upon the energy that it's flowing on, it's like a surfboard, right? You want to be on top of that board as opposed to trying to swim against the waves coming in. No, if you're on the board, then you can ride the waves. And that's what we're doing. We are going to use the wish. So your Virgo energy is all the way over in your 12th house. So what happens is, this is tricky because your 12th house is hidden. It's hidden habits, hidden work habits, hidden health habits, hidden habits. It's hidden routines. And because it's the 12th house, a lot of the stuff is past life stuff, or things that you picked up from childhood, things that mom taught you, things that your brothers and your sisters, things you learned in the home, because that Virgo energy is domestic life. And so when we go back and we think, God, what did I learn? And did I carry over some of these things unconsciously? Or it could be, if you believe in this, a past life thing where you've brought it forward, and you do it because, well, first of all, you're not conscious you're doing it. You're not even aware that you're doing it. It's something you do. But what's going to happen is this trine, right? This trine, this beneficial trine energy, it meant that at the beginning of the month, there was some information that came through. There's something wonderful about you. The way you talk, the way you relate, the way you communicate, a value, right? And this will be a value of who you are in the workplace. It's a work habit, a work routine, something that you're really good at. Okay, but you might not be aware of it. And I hear this a lot from people who have strong Virgo qualities in their chart, whether it's a sun or moon or rising. It's like somebody can tell them something good about themselves, and immediately they hear a thought in their brain that says, yeah, but you didn't just see the 3 things I just did wrong. And it's like, wow, really? So you've got this negative nanny cheerleader, right? Instead of having a cheerleader who's always like, oh yeah, you did a great job, they say that they've got one who's always downplaying all their traits, downplaying all their wins, downplaying all of their achievements. In a way, I feel strongly as though this is a time where we can work to make that right, to officially make a change in that, to say, you know what, I am going to take my hidden thought patterns, though that negative nanny that's hiding, right, that comes out and is always there, and work with that. You know, working with that new moon energy is, okay, I see I have these hidden thoughts because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, right? And so Mercury is all about talking and thinking and communicating and the way it relates. So what you're going to do is hone in, use this new moon, reorganize the way this mind works. In other words, yes, I need my ability to be a critical thinker. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to make wishes using the universe's energy and power that our thoughts are going to be logical and rational. And when the negative nanny comes out, we're going to know to right away grab the negative nanny politely and kindly by the hand, put the negative nanny over here and say, you need to stay there for right now. When I need an independent critical thinker, an additional one, I'll ask for you to come in, but you're not allowed to come out until I ask for you to. And we're going to try to hone in on that. We're going to try to say, hey, you know what? We really want this. We are tired of hearing that negative degree of ourselves that seems to dominate a good portion of the time. And so working with this on the 17th, but no later. So actually, because it's like at 25 degrees, right, which means the moon will literally be gone. The moon moves a degree every 2 hours. So what we're doing is making sure that we have the sun and the moon in the sign of Virgo when we're making this wish. So you get to make a wish for like 10 items, actually. Now, this could be about health habits, work habits, work routines, the way you work when you're at work, the way you think when you're at work, the way you communicate when you're at work, the way you organize when you're at work. These are hidden things that you're not aware of. Take that lemon and I turn it into lemonade. One of those kind of, that would be kind of like an example of a wish, because we're talking about taking control. We were talking about being the creator. And to be a creator, we literally have to start here. This is where it all begins. This is where the magic happens. I know we hear all this positive self-talk and we got to do this, we got to do that, and you got to have a healthy daily regime, and you do. And at the same time, you have to hold yourself responsible for the thoughts that you hold within your vault. You can't allow the negativity and the doubt and the fear to dominate. It's common and it's normal. It's always going to exist. The difference is, how long do you allow yourself to sit there in it? That's the difference. How long do you allow yourself to sit in it? Is to remember, we're talking about the 17th, okay, on the 17th of September. So what you want to make sure is either early in the morning on the 17th, early on the morning, because this literally happens at 6 a.m. 6 a.m., but this is Central Standard Time. For me, where I'm at, Central Standard Time. So you would have to adjust for where you live. That if you were to do this, say, before you go to bed on the 16th, that would also work as well. You figure out where you are in the world, what time zone you live in, and understand that you want to work with the energies. I mentioned it before when I talked about new moon and wishing. Jan Spiller. Look her up, Jan, last name Spiller or AR, I can't remember. Anyway, she has a great book out. It's all about new moon wishing. And in that book, it gives you the dates. It tells you the information I'm telling you, but it's got them, it's got all the dates, because it's all based on scientific information. Anyway, NASA information, it tells you when the dates are for all the future new moons and how to work with the energies. It explains what the energy is for that new moon and how you can best work with it. This 12th house hidden, this is also your dreams, because that's the 12th house. It's when you go to sleep, right? And so when you go to sleep, you may get information. You may get information that comes in. And what you want to do is, before you go to bed, for you guys, this would be really good. Before you go to bed at night, write some things down. Have a talk with your guides, do your prayers. Whoever you are, whatever religion you are associated with or not, this is all astrology. We are all inclusive. That's why it's all astrology. That was the whole point of that name. We exclude nothing and no one. All are welcome here. And this is all about energies just are. The way I see it, we're all on the same path. All on the same path, but we're all at different spots on that path. Here's the road. Here's the path. We're all on it. But we're all just at different locations on it. And that's okay. Like, that's the beauty of it. We're all different. And I say, love the differences, love the beauty, love the uniqueness, because it is all of our differences and our uniquenesses that make up the whole. And that is what astrology is. All the signs make up the whole. If you're a Libra ascendant, Libra rising, you have Scorpio energy in your second house. And so what does that mean? that means it is really simple for you to look at what other people have and think that what they have is better than what you have. That's what that means. Because you value, you're like, that energy is, it's not about just what I have, it's about what we have. And so for some people that have some really difficult things there, like a lot of planets, they want what other people have big time, to the degree where they may sneak what other people have, right? Or they may find ways to be able to get what other people have, right? To be able to enjoy other people's riches and their beauty and their resources, their tangible resources. Now, this doesn't mean that that's exactly who you are. It makes you sound kind of like you're a klepto or something, or like you're all about other people's stuff. No, but Scorpio energy is all about our resources. So you have something with somebody, you're a friend, and somehow you can easily connect with them. And when you easily connect with them, there is this understanding and this feeling of we. There's a depth to it because Scorpio energy can go very deep. So we can have shared deep values together. So if this resonates for you, you let me know. You comment below. You meet me. Introduce yourself to me in your comment sections, especially if you're new here. Let me know who you are, right? Put it down below. Pound, let's rise together, right? Pound, let's rise together. And that will let me know that you are here for the first time and that you want to fly with G. So now we get to the end of the month. What I didn't mention was that in the mid-month, some things happening. We've got a couple of planets standing still. People of authority, you know, whether they're at work or whether in the government, coming in with maybe some new rules or additional rules. And so what that means is we're going to be reevaluating what we've been going through since spring. We kind of get a refresher. It's almost as though the spring energy came and then we lived, we made changes. We had restrictions, we had all these new rules. We went through lockdown, we went through all of that. Some of us opened back up again, some of us are still opening up. But then we're reevaluating and we're looking back and we're kind of saying, did that work? Or what did work, right? What didn't work? And do we need to change something? So we're going to be seeing a shift going that way again. We're going to be reevaluating the things that happened because the choices that we made then, we're seeing the repercussions of them now. And now is a time in the month of September where it's this, again, a lot of fight mentality, but I'm trying to not talk about that too much. I'm really trying to help us all to each focus on how to move forward, how to stay focused for what we need in our life to stay safe, right? To stay sane, to stay balanced, to be healthy, to keep our family and our unity and understand, even though we may see people out there in the world doing things that we don't agree upon, realizing they're under the influence of these energies, okay? And it is our ability to have free will and to choose how we allow that energy to express. Everybody has the ability to choose that. It's not what happens to you, it's how you choose to respond to what happens to you. That is what this is a test of, this all of 2020. That is the test on the global level, and understanding that we want to be part of the greater community, right? There is a community here in our family, and we have a community out there in the greater world. Can we be a part of it? And then can we elevate? Can we elevate off of the planet where we can become part of the cosmic community? This is the big message. And so understanding there is a whole lot of things happening, a lot of changes, a lot of planets making movements, a lot of planets standing still. And Saturn at the very end of this month, at the very end of September, will be standing still. And that'll be on the 29th. So usually a couple days before, like the 27th, you'll feel this. You're going to feel that happen. And this is going to be in your fourth house. Typically, on the 27th, 28th, 29th, you have Capricorn energy in your fourth house. And what that means is there might be things at home. Saturn stands still. Saturn says these are rules. These are things that have to be done. And so there may be a new set of rules that are established or additional rules. Now, because it's Capricorn energy, likely this means at work for you. Because even though you've got Capricorn in your fourth house, it's still work, right? It's where you express your best. So it's a combination for you. This is why I began the reading off saying in your home and at work, in your home and at work, there's rules, there's regulations. So there might be additional rules, there might be additional regulations. It's a matter of learning how to be flexible and understanding we are all just trying to get along, and we're trying to figure the ugly bug. We're trying to figure it out together. The question is, can we elevate together? Will we do it? Will we recognize that we are all one? Let's rock together. Let's stay optimistic. Let's stay strong. Let's encourage one another. Let's love on one another as much as we can, whenever we can. I heard a quote the other day, and I love it. If you're not increasing the light in another being, you're wasting your time.